Making condensers and water tanks. This is part 6. The collection of condensers and water tanks is now complete. Here they are soldered together with the fittings installed. These will need removing before the next operation, which is to polish the copper top caps and scratch the brass surfaces, to provide a good key for the self-etch primer. You may be wondering why one of the water tanks has a tap attached to it. This is a water bypass valve which controls the amount of water being fed into the boiler by the crankshaft-driven pump. And in case you're wondering why the other tank doesn't have a tap, well, that doesn't have a crankshaft-driven pump on the engine, it uses a hand pump. And all you have to do with that to stop it feeding water into the boiler is stop pumping the handle. The next job is the big clean-up, so I'm removing this tap because I don't want to damage it. I'm also removing the union fittings. This may seem a little bit strange because I'm going to put the union nuts back on, but I don't want to waste a union cone. The reason for refitting the union nut is quite simple. It's a quick and easy way to mask off the threads because I don't want to paint those. You will notice in these clips that the water drain taps are screwed into the top caps. Again, this is only temporary. I will be removing them very shortly, mainly because I need to solder long pipes onto these, which go down to the bottom of the tank in order to drain the condensate. The smaller condensers will connect to the exhaust from the engine using 3/16 of an inch diameter pipe. The larger condenser is for the Stuart Victoria, which uses 1/4 of an inch pipe from the exhaust. And the water drain pipe will also be 1/4 of an inch in diameter. And now it's fun time. You've already seen me clean up these pieces of brass tubing in the lathe, but since then they've been soft soldered together. I'm doing two things here. I'm generally removing the oxide that would have formed by the heating process all over the tank, paying particular attention to rub down the soldered parts. It really is very important to key the metal before you paint it. And talking about painting, it's time to go into the outer part of the workshop and start the process. I'm using self-etch primer, which contains an acid that's designed to etch the surface of steel, not brass, but this is such good quality paint, it seems to work quite well on brass and copper. I seldom throw away the plastic caps from these aerosol cans. They come in very useful, as you can see here. I'm resting the parts that I'm painting on the caps so that when I want to rotate the parts, I don't have to touch them. I just turn them by rotating the plastic caps. This part of the job is proving a little bit difficult because the paint is almost gone in the can and it's splattering a bit, but by the time it's rubbed down and painted with satin black from HMG Paints, it will be fine. I carefully carried the freshly painted parts through into the main workshop, being very careful not to drop them on the floor as they're only resting on the aerosol can caps. The next part of the job is to clean up the copper tops of the condensers, and I didn't want to do this right next to some wet paint. Over the years I've made lots of videos about making condensers, so I didn't deem it necessary to show the polishing of the caps one more time. Normally I would make the top caps using brass. These are copper, but the process of cleaning them up is exactly the same. I generally finish the polishing process by using Brasso wadding. I find this stuff very easy to use and it's not as messy as pouring metal polish onto a cloth. You may have noticed that a lot of this video is running at a higher speed because the processes are very repetitive. Here once again I'm using some coarse emery cloth to clean and key the brass parts for the paint. Obviously, before painting these condensers I do need to mask off polished copper parts, and to do this I'm just using standard automotive masking tape. It's a very quick and simple job. My only hint would be make sure that the masking tape fully covers the copper. The rest of this video, including the bit of painting at the end, is very repetitive, and I can't think of much else to say on the subject, so I will play one of my pieces of stock library music. It's better to play some music when the jobs are so repetitive. This one is called Organised. And that is all from me today. I'd just like to say, as I always do, stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.